शुद्ध लेखाइ गर्ने तरिकामा पहिला उनीहरूले घरमा बोलेका भाषाहरूलाई विद्यालयमा आइसकेपछि अशुद्ध लेख्ने तरिकालाई शुद्ध लेख्न सिकाइन्छ। यसरी सिकाउँदाखेरिमा उनीहरूले भात हामीले शुद्ध तरिकामा भात भन्छौँ, नेवारी भाषामा चाहिँ भाट, अनि पढ्योलाई पनि पढ्यो भन्छन्, ढोकालाई पनि धोका भनेर यसरी लेख्छन्। ती विद्यार्थीहरूलाई विद्यालय आएर अभ्यास गर्दा गर्दा अनि उनीहरू अहिले चाहिँ नि लेखाइमा चाहिँ नि शुद्ध लेख्ने तरिकाबाट लेख्ने भइसकेका छन्।
She is Nepali teacher and she says that many castes have their own problem to speak Nepali, but especially from Nepali caste students who come to school, they will be changed. But in the beginning, they when they speak to their family members, they may mistake to say door and rise. These are the words they may do mistaken. So when they come to school, it improves because of the teacher's assistance and other friends, bilingualisms. Thank you.
नेपाली भाषा कठिन शब्द भनेर चाहिँ सबैको कुराहरू आइराखेका हुन्, तर पनि उहाँहरूले घरमा बोल्दा उहाँहरूको त्यो गल्ती हुँदैन। नेवारी भाषामा जस्तो पढ्यो भने नि पढ्यो भन्छन्, भाट भन्छन्, तिमीलाई नेपाली शब्दमा उनीहरूले तिमी भन्छन्। उहाँहरूको आफ्नो मातृभाषामा त्यो भाषा शुद्ध हो, तर यहाँ विद्यालयमा पढ्न लेख्न लागि चाहिँ नि त्यो भाषा अशुद्ध भनेर मानिएको।
At home, when they speak Newari language in Nepali, Newari community, they speak in Nepali language. If they do mistaken also, it cannot be taken as a mistaken. But when they go to a school and the offices, it is mistaken. Say for example, Timi, Timi. You is Timi in Nepali, but it is pronounced Timi. It is not accepted in the offices. Bhat, Bhat. These are the examples. But when they go to school and offices, this is not accepted the original language.
आएका छन्, जस्तै नेवार, मगर, राई, लिम्बू विभिन्न जात जातिका छन्। हामी विद्यालयमा नेपाली माध्यमबाटै पढाउँछौँ, इङ्ग्लिस माध्यमबाटै भइहाल्यो, नेपालीलाई चाहिँ हामी नेपालीमै पढाउँछौँ। विभिन्न भाषिक समुदायबाट आएका विद्यार्थीहरू भएको कारण हामीलाई नेपाली पढाउनदेखि केही समस्याहरू हामीले भोग्नु परेका छौँ।
This class, the students are studying here, which belongs to different ethnic groups and multilingual society, integrated society. In this school, in this class, we are teaching to the students on the basis of Nepali language so far. But because of this multi-society and multi-language community students, they have such influence over the Nepali language. Because of that influence, we are facing some complications over here while we teach and while we deal with these students in a large extent. Well, here the girl said when she has to ask in which standard you are studying, she said, "Timi kati kachhama padchau." Actually, it should be timi, not timi. So she is saying timi kati kachhama padchau. It should be timi kati kachhama padchau. So these types of ta and ta, the difference is what we are facing in the class. It is not such a serious problem at all. In this matter also, boys say, "Mero gharma didi, mommy, bascha," something like that. It means in his family there are members regarding sister, father, mother, and so on and so forth. So while he is pronouncing that structure of sentence, some particular words like didi, that should be didi, and that he is pronouncing didi. This is what we are getting problem. Actually, it's not a problem. It is the influence of their own native language.
एउटा शहरमा धनमान नामका दयालु र उपकारी व्यापारी थिए। उनी मिठो खाना र ज्यादै शौकीन थिए।
Nepal is linguistically and culturally a diverse country. According to the census, there are 126 different ethnic groups and 123 different languages. But majority of Nepalese speak English. Nepali. So Nepali is a lingua franca, linked language among different ethnic groups. But there are many languages which are in danger because they don't get space in terms of their use. Especially in education, media, and other public spheres. So since languages spoken by different ethnic groups are not getting proper attention, they are being marginalized. The dominance of Nepali language in Nepal is widespread. It is, although the constitution says that all languages will be considered as national languages, Nepali is still used as dominantly used as official language for government business. It is dominantly used in media. 44% of people speak it as their first language. But although standard Nepali is considered as official language, a language of education and print media, there are a number of dialects of Nepali language which is spoken throughout the country. So Eastern dialect and Western dialect and Far Western dialect. at some point they are mutually unintelligible as well. So they people mostly people from far east may not understand people from far west. So so there is variations among Nepali within Nepali language as well. In addition to Nepali as a medium of instruction in public schools, most private schools use English as a medium of instructions, meaning that minority languages, languages other than Nepali and English are not actually used as a medium of instruction, although Constitution says that the children have right to education in their mother tongue. So the impact of this policy, is multiple. For example, children from linguistic minorities do not understand or find it really difficult to understand the content of teaching by their teachers because they don't quite understand Nepali. So there are a number of communities, linguistic minorities, who find actually very difficult to understand what teachers teach, and they cannot actually participate very actively in teaching learning activities. They cannot express their opinion, personal opinions and thoughts and ideas openly because they don't have good mastery over Nepali language, because there is a big gap between the home language and the language of school. So most minority children, children from ethnic minorities speak their own language at home and community, but when they go to school, it's very different. So especially in the early grades, like first, second, third grades, they don't actually enjoy learning in schools because of language problem. I have seen that students even cannot express their personal feeling. For example, they cannot ask questions to teachers, even if they don't understand, because they have to speak in Nepali and they have to speak English as well. But when they are given opportunity to speak, to use their mother tongue, their home language, they can interact well with the teachers and with their friends. But since it has not been done, students are actually not engaged effectively in the learning process. They are learning, but their learning is more about memorization and it's kind of storing information from the textbooks and what teachers teach. So that's why, because mother tongues are not used in practice in schools, students have a lot of psychological, even cognitive, mental issues, because eventually they don't learn, what they are expected to learn because of simply non-existence of their mother tongue in schools. So, and also the children from different ethnic groups speak Nepali in different ways. For example, maybe Limbu children may not have habit of using honorific forms a lot. For example, Mero Bua, Janu Bhayo, my father left or went somewhere. So Janu Bhayo, or usually it's very informal. So Limbu kids may say like Mero Baba Goya, something like that. And a lot of discourse markers, like in Eastern dialect, for example, Kata Hideko how. So a lot of use of you say how. But these things could be heard as very strange thing, and people consider it as a lack of ability to communicate effectively. So and there are so many other examples that we can give from different languages as well. Sometimes the way Limbu people speak may be heard as very rude and very impolite. So there are so many examples, and we judge, and we judge how people communicate on the basis of that standard norms of the language, like standard Nepali. And we use them, we use that standard norm in assessment, we use that standard norm in teaching and learning. And that eventually creates a problem among ethnic groups, ethnic minorities. Problems in two senses. One, on the other hand, they are wrongly considered as someone who do not have ability to communicate effectively in Nepali, which is essentially standard Nepali. And the second thing is they face a number of challenges, especially discriminations, exclusion, like language shaming. You know, people laugh at them when they speak in a particular way, and I have experienced a number of examples in schools as well. So yeah, I think the dialectical variations, especially social dialects, languages, variations of different ethnic groups are there. So, you know, the way Madhisi speak Nepali is so different, and we outrightly understand that they come from Madhis. The same thing applies to someone who is from far west, and someone from Sherpa community, someone from Rai community. So, but you know, our assessment practices, our teaching practices have not actually recognized this diversity in terms of dialectical variations. You know, within Nepali language as well, not just, you know, Nepali and other languages, but also even within Nepali language. Assessment practices, you know, in school or in higher education are guided by monolingual mentality. So the way we are assessing our students are actually forcing our students to be monolingual, or to demonstrate monolingual norms. So if they fail, then we label them as students with low language proficiency or students with low ability. But indeed, what's wrong is we haven't been able to assess their multilingual proficiency or multilingual knowledge system. What I'm saying is, you know, what's wrong is the way we assess. There is nothing wrong from the side of multilingual children, because, you know, we eventually what we are doing in a way is we expect monolingual standard norms from students, but in the case of multilingual students, that's not true. Why should we standardize tests? If our goal is to assess what students have learned, so you don't have to standardize tests. And the basic assumption behind standardized testing is to promote uniformity, which is wrong for me, because in educational system, within a classroom, children come. You cannot have one size fit all efforts. You know, every individual is unique. You know, the children bring multiple ideas, multiple knowledge system, multiple ideologies in the classroom. But if you standardize tests, then you are promoting this monolingual system, just or let's say one norm. I don't think that, you know, standardized tests is helpful standardized test is a good idea for in multilingual and multicultural setting with multicultural, multilingual students. No, for me, because how can you test children coming from different cultural and linguistic background with one standardized test, and which is very much reductionist. It is not open. It doesn't test their creativity. It doesn't test their diverse knowledge system. I think I don't think. My major question is why do we need standardized tests? Why should we standardize tests? If you think from multilingual and multicultural perspective, standardized tests do not work. I haven't seen assessment system that is actually working well to assess multilingual, multicultural students' ability. So my point is, standardized tests actually do not work in linguistically diverse contexts. It doesn't work. So I think we should actually get rid of standardized tests and focus more on how teachers actually can be equipped and enhanced to develop appropriate measures of assessment that actually recognize the diverse knowledge ideas of the students. So my bottom line is, we don't need a standardized test. Why do you need standardized tests in grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? So why? Because children learn in multiple ways, yes.